My name is Tyrone Shorter. I'm from Louisville High School, and you are watching Max South Sports. Tyrone Shorter from Louisville High School. I've been here 3 years now. My previous school, Knoxville County, spent 20 years there. Yes, 20. Coaching football. Former school, won 4 state championships there. I know my overall record right now as a head coach is 128 and 35. Here, I've been here 3 years now. I know that we only lost 4 games, I think, since I've been here. First year was tough, you know, coming in, taking over a program, a very good program, successful program, and when you coming in, you bringing your philosophy in, the way you do things. It was kind of tough the first year because those kids were used to something else, and when I came in, I brought in my philosophy, and it was kind of tough to get the guys to buy in at first, but then once we settled down and once I got to know the kids, my coaching staff got to know the kids, then we started turning it around. But the first year was kind of tough, but you know, these kids were used to winning, and we had success the first year, and we just fell short of our goals the first year here.
Hey, on the zone, let's go, let's work.
My coaching philosophy, you know, I'm built on discipline.
Good job. Hustle.
I get it from my former coaches that coached me. Long Wright from Vicksburg, Gene Murphy from Hines, Roy Gregory from Austin Peay. All of those guys, I take a little of their coaching style and put it with mine. My first job was Knoxville County, MC Miller, and he was built on the same philosophy, discipline.
Hard work, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Hard work.
Tough football. Making sure the guys doing the right things.
Good, he a big boy. In and out.
And that's how I was built, and that's how I try to run our program. That's my philosophy. I build it on discipline first. My thing is bigger than football. You know, it's always bigger than football to me. I want them to be a student athlete first. You know, talent gonna speak for itself when you hit the football field. So that's why I built my my philosophy on discipline and doing the things the right way.
Open your mouth, talk, communicate.
You know, I keep our team motivated by, through competition. You know, I feel like the competition that, our schedule that motivate our kids, I'm gonna play the tough games. I don't believe in cupcake games because kids tend to play down to, I call cupcake games. But when you play the bigger schools, the rivalry schools, our kids get motivated from that. Even coaches, I know I do. I love to play competition. I love to play the bigger schools, and it motivates me. It makes me a better coach because I study more. I pay attention to all the details. And the kids around here, they love to play the tough games, and they really self-motivated because they want to win.
Come on, Rob. Good job, Rob. Now run your feet.
We come in off season. Our kids have to make so many workouts in the off season. During the summer, I think our spring is very important. We get so many kids out in the spring, and then our off season workout in the summer. We try to get our kids bigger, faster, and stronger across the summer, and they have to make so many workouts. Our kids, if they don't make their workouts, they know they're not going to be a part of this program, and I'm not going to change that. I've been doing that forever, and so our kids, they know they have to make their workouts. The expectation around here for our program, we expect to win a championship every year. So you got to work. Nobody take no time off. I give them the workouts for the whole summer because you win football games in the off season. You don't win football games in August and the fall. So, what you do in the spring, what you do in the summer, that's dictate what you're going to do, how your program's going to be in the fall. Our team best attribute this year, I think it started with offense.
Go.
We have a lot of those guys back, our starters, a lot of our starters back. It's always good to have your quarterback returning. We are really, really strong in our running back position, our receiver, and our offensive line. So we feel good about our offense. We can put up some points this year. And our offense have to carry our defense. We have a young defense. We graduated a lot of seniors last year on defense, and we was really good last year defensively. So this year, we're really young. And so our offense have to carry us this year. So I think our offense, and it's kind of backwards for some of my team. My defense usually always be a little bit better than my offense. But this year, our offense, the expectation for our offense is very high. Our quarterback, he's a guy that he makes smart decisions. He throws the ball really well. And he don't realize how good he can run the football. I'm trying to get him to run the football a little bit more this year because he really can put a lot of pressure on people if he do that. Like I told my offensive coordinator, we can't be afraid of our quarterback getting hurt. So we just got to turn him loose and be the athlete that he is. So, and I think this is going to make us a whole lot better. Our season is great right now. We are 3-1 on the season. We came off a tough game this past week. We felt like we should have won it, but it was a great game. It's one of those rivalry games against a bigger school, Starkville. We had our opportunities in the game. We missed some plays. We got inside the red zone a couple of times and didn't score. But Starkville have a good football team. They probably outweighed us, offense and defensive line, probably about 10 to 15 pounds. So it was one of those games that even though we lost the ball game, I feel like it's a win for us because I can measure my team. If we can play against Starkville, we can compete against a big 6A powerhouse, I feel like we are fine going into our division in 4A and after the division playoff. So that's the reason why I love to play the tough competition. I love to play the bigger schools early on so you can measure your team.
My name is Tyrone Shorter. I'm from Louisville High School, and you are watching Max South Sports.
Biggest challenges I think with our team this year is the youth on defense. We young. We starting 3 sophomores, 4 juniors, and 4 seniors. So we young, and the guys that start, especially D-line, this is their first year being in that fire. It's the first year that they have to be in those battles. And so we're just trying to get them battle tested early so they can know what to expect. So I think, defensively is our biggest challenge this year. Like our strength is our offense, so I'm not worried about our offense. But, going into this, we knew that we were young defensively and we were going to have some growing pains. But, these guys getting better and better every week. So I have that confidence, and by the time we hit division play, these guys are going to be ready to play, and I'm excited about these young guys, defensive line. They're young, but they're talented. They just got to grow up, and so we knew coming in that was going to be our biggest challenge. Moving forward after these first 5 ball games, right before we go into division, I feel like we battle tested. So I feel like we headed in the right direction going into our division play, because we're going to have a tough division. We in there with West Lauderdale and Kosciuszko. Those guys are going to be tough. So we're going to be battle tested for it. And there's the reason why I play the tough schedule to get us prepared, to get us ready to face our district. Because we have one of the toughest division in North Mississippi in 4A. So we have to be ready to play.
I'll be the lead blocker. All right, get it snapped on time right here, Jason.
We really have success in our division. Only 2 losses in our division in 12 years. So we expect to win our division and go in as the #1 seed. That's important, and our kids know that's important. To have that home field advantage throughout the playoff that, you know, you got to win your division. So that's one of our goals, to win our division first, and then let everything else take care of itself.
Wrap up, drive. Good, drive. Here's the one. There you go. Hey, go to the mic. Go to the mic. You set?
First, I start with our offensive players first. We got, you know, like I say, those are the mature guys that we got coming back. A lot of starters returning on offense. I'm gonna start with our quarterback first, Jace Husby. You know, he got quarterback coming back, and we're excited about him. This will be his second year leading our program, and you know, he have a really, really strong arm. He's a smart player. He's a tough kid. He really leads our offense. We have two really great running backs coming back, Jacory Coleman. Number two, he's coming back. We have our two running backs that have two different styles. Emery Jane is the more of a bruiser guy, get the tough, hard yard, and Jacory, he's the more shifty guy, the more speedster guy. And so we have different things that we have for those two guys. We're excited about those two running back. Our receiving core started with Jarvis Rush, a big wide out. We're excited about him. Had a phenomenal year last year. You know, he made the winning touchdown grab last year in the state championship game. So the guy got some a lot of upsides to him. We also have two slot guys that I'm really excited about. They're young guys, Jaden Triplett and Keith Jackson. You know, those guys really, you know, coming along. They catching the football really well. We're excited about our receiving core. I feel like our offensive line, you know, that's where it gets started from. You know, if you're not good offensive line wise, it no matter how good your quarterback is, your running backs, your receiver, if they don't have time, if they don't make no running lanes, you know, you're not going to be successful in your skills. So our offensive line start with Hickman, Lenoris Hickman. He's a 3-year starter for us. He's been starting ever since I've been here. I'm excited about that kid. Ivy, big guy, big left tackle for us. You know, he sat out last year because of COVID. You know, he didn't play. So we're excited about having him coming back this year. We also have Big Chauncey Timms, a big guy, probably about 6'3", maybe 400 pounds, that can really move. We're excited about him. You know, that offensive line, you know, I think our quarterback really loved those guys. You know, Rush, you know, we have another. He's the smallest one. If you look at our offensive line, we have all those big guys. Then you have Victor Rush. You know, he's a kid, probably 190 pounds, play our left guard. Tough kid, you know, everybody look at him like, he's offensive line? Yeah, like, yes, he's a tough, really, really tough kid. Moving on the defense side of the ball, we don't have a lot of starters back. You know, we lost a lot of those guys. We only have 3 starters returning defensively. Kylan Tippett, you know, junior, you know, one of our safety, outside linebacker type kid, you know, he coming on, and he being that leader that we need. Our Mike linebacker, Jeffrey Smith, you know, he's returning. He's a senior returning at our Mike linebacker position. He brings that leadership as well, been in the fire. Jeremiah Kurt, you know, he's another guy that started for us last year defensively, and he's a senior. And Shantez Tim is four of those guys starting. Returning starters on defense, and you know the rest of the guys are young, but we're excited about them.
Ready, take out. There you go. Good feet. Come on, come to me. Break down. Screen. Good.
The teams look at us on film and they get ready to face us. You know, the first thing probably gonna come out their mouth, man, wow, they fast. You know, they got a lot of speed. And that's how I like to build my team off speed. And I think that's where a lot of opponents look at us, like we can run. And the second thing is physical. You know, we're gonna be tough. We're gonna be some hard-nosed kids. We're gonna be well coached. You know, so I think when people turn the film on, they're gonna be like, man, these kids at Louisville, they well coached, they tough, they physical, they can run. You know, they play smart. You know, that's how we teach them, and that's how we coach them.
You gotta come down on that. You gotta come down on that. All right, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. All right, you gotta come down on that.
I really think the way that you coach them up at practice, then the way they'll finish in a ball game. We try to teach them at practice and coach them up at practice. Ain't no quit. We're not gonna back down for nobody. We don't care about what a school name on a jersey. We don't care about what classification. We teach that at practice. We coach that up at practice. So when you get in the ball game, is the expectation, hey, you might be bigger than me. You might have more players than we do, but you gonna know we've been in this fight. Our biggest rival, we have several. Everybody. I think every time we play somebody, we get their best. Absolutely team's best every time we play somebody. So I think it's Starksville and then Knoxville County. Our kids don't need no motivation. They don't need, I think they circle those two games every year. Louisville got away from playing Starksville. When I got here, I was like, that's a must. I looked into the history because when we played them this past Friday, there was the 7-7 meeting the two schools had. So I was like, when I got here, I'm like, okay, that's a game that we got to put back on the schedule, and we did that. I told our coaches last year, when we played Starkville last year, when we lost a close one last year, then we went on to win the state championship, I told our coaches last year, I said, ain't nobody else gonna touch us. If we can play with them like this way, ain't nobody else gonna touch us. And I feel the same way this year. If we bring that same intensity that we had Friday night to everybody we play from here on out, it's gonna be hard to beat us. And that's what I want our kids. Our kids was, Friday night after that ball game, they were hurt. I was hurt. The coaches was hurt. Some of the guys were crying, because we put in a lot of work, we put in a lot of time, and they really wanted to win the ball game. But I told our kids, keep your head up. We fought to the end. Y'all have no reason to hang your head. And I let them know that, we can play with these guys, a 6A powerhouse that probably got a chance to play for a state championship in 6A. We can play with anybody. We didn't win on the scoreboard, but it was a win for us because the way that our kids came out and they fought to the end. Last year against, we didn't play the team down the road last year. We didn't play them last year because of COVID. We had them early on in the game. But the year before that, they beat us by 2 points, 2-0. And that's in the back of our mind. These kids, these seniors now, they were sophomores at that time. And they remember the 2-0 loss. We fumbled the ball and went in the end zone. They got a safety and they beat us 2-0. And that's in the back of my mind, that's in the back of their mind. It's gonna be a battle Friday night. No doubt, the ultimate goal is to win the state championship. That's, around here, if you don't win a state championship, it's a bust. it's one of those years like you fail, So, that's our expectation every year. And from junior high all the way up to high school, we expect to win the state championship every year. And that's how I want our kids to it's not being cocky or arrogant. It's just, just how we want to build them. And not just to win a state championship on the field, we building our kids' character to be champions off the field as well. And so that's what I'm trying to instill in them. We're going to try to win in everything that we do. First of all, we're going to win in the classroom. We're going to win on the field because you're talented. We're going to do the little things right. We're going to do, I just call it tough love. I'm on them. I'm going to stay on them. That's the only way I know to do, So I want, You know, if we don't win a state championship, I feel like it's a failure year for me. I just really do. You know, and we're gonna work our tails off to get to that point every single year, and that's the way that our coaches to win it all every year. My favorite football movie, I think, is Remember the Titans. You know, that movie, you know, with Denzel and them in it, man, it was, I mean, I can watch that movie over and over and over and over again. It's just the way that, you know, they brought two different coaches together and made a powerhouse. You know, and Coach Kuhn, the way he coaches, is kind of like, you know, I like that coaching style. You know, he was tough on the kids, but he loved them, and he made sure that they were doing everything the right way. It wasn't just all about football. You know, it was about them becoming a man. It was about them, you know, being successful out in the world, and you know, and that's me. You know, I tell our kids all the time, you know, with you or without you, it's gonna be a football game on Friday night, but I want to see you be successful as a man. Give yourself an opportunity to be, you know, to graduate from high school and to give yourself a chance to be successful in life. And I think I took a lot of that from that movie. You know, it's a great movie. My favorite NFL team is Tennessee Titans. I have Jeffrey Simmons that I coached for 4 years, and you know, he went on to Mississippi State and was a first-round draft pick guy. So and every time he come home, he always stop by my house, and we keep in contact right this day. As a matter of fact, I talked to him a couple of days ago. You know, telling him about, you know, the game. And then they came from behind and beat Seattle. So we were talking about that just yesterday. So my favorite NFL team is the Tennessee Titans. Right here, this is the best manager I ever had right here in 24 years. Good guy. He's gonna be an all-star this year.
What's his name?
Dante Harris.
Dante Harris.
Dante Harris. He's going to the all-star game with me this year. You know, the things that they do off the field, it's important to me. I want to make sure that they're doing the right things out in the streets when they at school, when they out of school. So what they do out of school, it'll affect us on this field. They affect us in the classroom. So if they get in trouble outside of school, I still deal with it. I still punish them. I still talk to them. You know, I let them know that that's not acceptable, you know, for them to be doing things, you know, in the streets. So, you know, that's the reason why I say it's bigger than football to me. When I hire a coach to be a part of my staff, first I tell them, you know, if you in it for the money, you're in it for the wrong reason. If you in it for the wins and the losses, you know, you're in it for the wrong reason. Our job to make these young guys, when they get to us at an early age, we want to turn them into men. We want to turn them into, you know, a good father one day, you know, a good husband, you know, a good, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, I tell coaches, don't feed that dream into these kids that you're going to play in the NFL. It's the NFL, it's meant for you, it's going to happen. And I tell them, I mean, if you're good enough, you're going to play in the NFL, no matter where you go. If, you know, I'm not telling you not to dream that, you know, but I tell coaches that all the time. And I feel like what makes a good coach as well, if you got to get to know these kids. You got to be able to motivate these kids to, you know, to be successful in life. You can't be selfish. You can't use these kids to try to get to the other job. You know, those are the things I try to tell young coaches when I hire them, and those are the things that I live by as a coach. You know, it's not about Tyrone Shorter. It's about the kids that I coach. It's about me touching their lives. It's about me changing them. It's about me molding them. The word coach is very powerful, and I tell coaches all the time, don't misuse that word. You know, that word means something, so make the best out of it.